Hey everybody, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of So What You Hear. I'm Jay,
I'm Seth.
and clearly Craig is not here with us today. He is away for his birthday, and we will probably see him, I guess, next week. A lot of people on bye this week. Kind of hurt people in fantasy. Everybody had to reroute their whole roster just to be able to play, but there was still a lot of games that just really said a lot of things about how this league looks like it's going to turn out. It's crazy the stuff that's happening.
It was a turnaround. What you want to talk about first?
Well, I think clearly the first one we're going to go on is Monday night, freshest in everybody's mind, just happened. Niners-Vikings.
Didn't see that happen.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
not how.
Even without Debo, I definitely thought this was a blowout. This is absolutely ridiculous. But
I mean, I think they've been watching their film on Purdy a little bit. He doesn't have as much time. These last 2 weeks, he's not had as much time to kind of do whatever he wants. McCaffrey's McCaffrey, but that fumble hurt.
yeah,
So I mean, the turnovers, that's what they weren't doing before. It was turning the ball over.
yeah,
Purdy had 2 interceptions.
yeah.
Man, so I think it's the
I mean, that's kind of the tail of the tape difference on Minnesota because I mean they had the one interception in the beginning, but like. It wasn't a bunch of turnovers and mistakes as the game went, and
Cousins usually have his bigger games against really good teams. I've been noticing that. Like, I think he shows off.
like a lot of people like Kirk Cousins. Like the man averages almost 300 yards a game. I just don't feel like if your quarterback is giving you 300 yards, you get to blame him.
He over 300.
Yeah, on most of his games he has over 300. Yeah. Like. Especially primetime, because that's the biggest one. Oh, he doesn't show up in primetime and big games and stuff. Like, I think the game we lost to the Giants last year, I think he had like almost 400 yards passing.
Yeah, he's a very solid quarterback. But once you give him they were catching the ball, was it Addison?
Addison.
Oh man, off. Yeah, like that.
Jordan Addison had the game of his career. Like, I mean, it's early, obviously.
Even when he went out for a little bit, other people were filling in. Like, it was...
Hawkinson had a hell of a day. Yeah. I haven't seen him play that good since Detroit.
Limp a little bit, come back, and do something else. Like, it was very exciting to watch. It really was.
It really was.
Both sides, but
the running game kind of got going. Madison started to kind of picking it up, kind of being more of what he was last year and what I think they thought they were going to get from him. I mean, they're now a 2-win team. It's going to be real tough for them to turn around. But I mean, obviously, you see how up and down this league goes, and you get on a run. Justin Jefferson should be coming back in another 2 weeks.
I wouldn't go as far as they on a run, but
I said they could go on a run. I didn't say they're on a run. I said they could go.
Because for some reason, when it's a team that they should just beat, they do lose. Like, they lost. They only have 1 win, so they were losing to everybody. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But
it's almost like a football guy's flipped the switch on them, though. Like, last year, they won, it was 11-0? Or 11-1 in one-score games. And they have had nothing but one-score games this year, but
they're losing.
Lost.
Yeah, they're on the other side of the coin.
But now you get the last 2 games where it looks like it's flipped back, and...
San Francisco lost twice in a row. Like, who foreseen that?
Yeah, San Fran.
Like I said, they are starting to hit Purdy more. He's not comfortable like he was those early weeks.
Well, unfortunately for his legacy, he probably wants them to not play that well this weekend.
Really? Why you say that?
He's in concussion protocol.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Sam Darnold's going to be starting.
I don't know why I did not know that. Okay.
Because they just announced it like a couple hours ago.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
But if Purdy if Darnold comes in and absolutely goes off.
Well, they need him to win regardless. So this is not, because that goes, when we was going to talk about, what happens when the quarterback get hurt and his replacement looks really good. What do you do? That's with Fields and stuff. So you want to segue into that?
Well, no, we're going to go ahead because, like we were saying with that, 2 games in a row. Do you think San Fran's in trouble? Are you worried about them?
I'm not worried about them. Like you said, they didn't have Debo and things. They look good. It's just
Minnesota didn't have Justin Jefferson.
Purdy, I don't feel like take advantage of the fact that there's Kittle there.
No, I do not feel like him and Kittle. The one pass where he got hit and
That Dallas game, they really beat my Cowboys. And Kittle was a very much a part of that. And then, they're still winning, but I don't understand why you're not. You have a player like Kittle. I know he blocks a lot, but still, if you have a player like Kittle who find ways to get open
very easily, just especially when you don't have Debo out there being Debo.
And so
I think he's got to get a little bit better using all the weapons.
Don't be mad at me. Who they play next? I forgot it right there.
Who San Francisco play this weekend?
I didn't want to.
It's fine. Look it up. Because we knew right before. I think they have a bye.
Is it their bye?
Or do they have a bye the week after? Oh, Cincinnati. I do know who they play. They play Cincinnati.
I looked earlier than I can remember.
And I knew. That's why it was killing me, because I do my research. I make sure I know what I'm talking about before we come on here. But it's Cincinnati, which
should be able to beat.
Rough start. Not in the last couple weeks. They've started looking like Cincinnati again.
I think it's too early, too premature to get worried. People lose games. They just lost them together. But I think if they lose to the Bengals, they should very much start to get nervous. But I wouldn't worry yet.
Yeah. Huh? Okay. Well, we'll wait on the panic. But, I just think, technically this is just, first 2 losses, period?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, that was my point. Yeah.
You always got to play devil's advocate on it, but, let's be real. He's lost 2 games. He's been amazing.
They just lost
and I was devil advocating, and now I'm saying my real opinion.
So now we're husband and wife bickering. But
I just don't think you can panic and, oh no, Purdy's just not that. And, well, okay, breathe. Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about next?
But I think we haven't ever talked about it on the show before. We usually stick to the games and stuff, but it's a topic that comes up a lot, but it seems like it just keeps being a thing. What is up with these refs? They're telling the coach, you're right, that was an uncatchable ball, so the pass interference to save Cleveland and won in the game shouldn't have been called.
Yeah.
Blatantly, Darren Waller in the Bills game.
Miami has 10 penalties.
Philly has none.
There is no team. I don't care how good they are that has absolutely no penalties.
That doesn't happen. There is no way that Philly didn't have something that should have been called that game. And, you can look online. There's video and pictures of, 10 plays that are this is a very clear penalty.
Well, I'm very much about letting them play. I let the game play out. But I feel like if you call in stuff on one team, you got to call stuff on the other team. That's the only way we bounce out. So if they won't, if Miami only had 2 or 3 top penalties, then I'm well, clearly
they're just
letting stuff slide. They letting them play. Let's, enjoy the game. But that's not what happened. His hands to the face, clearly it was
clearly in his helmet. And then, the call in the Rams-Pittsburgh game, which, Pittsburgh fans dude, that ball was nowhere near that line. It was nowhere near that line. Yeah. Kenny Pickett had it behind him, and he was short of the line. There's no way he got that first down. That was not a first down. And if we could put a camera in the pylon to be able to look down the line, why can't we chip the pylon of the ball? Then we don't have to have this argument anymore.
So we'll know it'll ding?
It'll ding if he got to the line. We know where the ball relatively is.
So how does that work? I guess you could tell if they have if they get the first down, but then they kind of go back on their own accord.
Yeah, but it will show that the ball got to this point and then was pushed back.
Okay.
Kind of like tennis does. They're out of where you can see the ball landed here, 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 and here. So it was in and then it was out, or it was. It doesn't make sense. If we can chip their shoulder pads to know how fast they ran their touchdown, you should be able to know where the damn ball is.
Well, I guess there's different balls, but you can chip all of them.
Chip all the balls. You're you're one of the most profitable
sports,
companies.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we're still doing this. No.
Do you think it's a suggestion I feel like New York probably should be more involved.
I think the cameras in New York need to be more involved.
You get them involved if it's a scoring or a fumble, somebody should be looking at them like, oh, that was hands to the face. So that was, or you missed.
Well,
that
especially
like pass interference, something that is a big part of the outcome of a game. Yeah, like he didn't hit
there should be somebody for. There's 32 teams, so even if everybody's playing, there's 16 games.
Maybe not every call, but certain calls.
You can have 16 people, so you have a person a game that is literally just watching the cameras from New York to let the refs know, hey, no. Because they do that. Pick that up, that's not a foul. So why aren't they just doing that? Why are we having these egregious calls that are clearly wrong, the NFL saying they're wrong? You already have somebody watching.
Like I said, maybe not like every type of penalty, but the ones that really change the outcome of the game. Like I said, pass interference is a big one. That you're getting you pass in the end zone. They just got the ball right down the one. So that's a big.
It's a big penalty.
That's a big penalty, and so
or 15 yards the other way, 15 yards backwards is a big
pass
penalty.
Interference, contact, something like that, but
these illegal man downfield where they're calling it on people that are clearly
not,
blocking the guy from, he's blocking the tackle he was already blocking. That's not the same thing. He's not blocking downfield.
And they double down even when they
You're
they know
they're clearly
wrong.
wrong. And
but then the NFL want us to trust that they're not rigged, but then you got to stop these things from happening, or people aren't.
They're going to start. The only reason you wouldn't want to stop them is if you're using them to make things happen.
And you keep saying that's not true, and you want us to trust.
But it's not. It's not. You're not giving us
sure it's all fair. They change rules all the time.
No, you're not allowed to search my trunk. Just trust there's nothing in there. Well, that doesn't give me much trust.
Well, you need a warrant. Whatever.
Anyway,
we're getting. Yeah,
it was it was generalized
legal stuff.
Whatever. Law and order over here. Anyway, getting our bitching out about the refs. I feel better now.
I do feel better.
Shocker of the week. I guess you go Vikings as the shocker of the week, but the Ravens absolutely obliterating the Lions. These new look Lions.
I had to apologize to my brother-in-law because I was just like, the Lions are going to just eat Ravens for dinner. I just thought the Lions I've been seeing was just going to, all over them. And that didn't even. I kept thinking, now they about to do it. They about to come back. The Ravens about, Lamar's about to Lamar it all up. And
speaking on that, I'm starting to feel that I may have to apologize to the Ravens fans and Lamar Jackson because I basically felt that he could not do it with an arm. And the last 2 weeks, all he's been doing is throwing on people. So I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess it's pretty damn good.
He looked really good against those Lions.
It was insane. It was so good. But it's the middle of the season. This is when teams should be shaking it off, and you should be seeing what's going to be the process that makes sense. And some of the teams with hot starts, they're going to have this is when you want to, if you're a team with a hot start, like the Lions, this is when you want to have your playoffs.
Yeah.
Because that gives you the rest of the year to kind of work things out, shake it off, and keep it moving. Yeah.
It's an L. All right, fine. You keep it,
it's a bad L. You're going to have to.
We all have bad L's.
Have to suck this one up. But
my Cowboys had to play against San Francisco and it was hot. So everybody get a bad L.
Don't you wish you had this one?
I know, right? I know. It's not even fair. Because this is San Francisco. Philly going to get to play.
Yeah.
It's personal.
So that's what's going to happen.
But that's what's...
No, you're 100% right on that. But yeah, I do think that the Lions are going to have to do something about. Clearly, they shifted their defense to stop the run and stop a running quarterback, which they've showed that they're not great at. And as soon as you do that, all you can do is man up, and then you're throwing the ball and getting man-to-man. Every play, no disguise, nothing. You're going to get ripped apart by most people. That's not going to work. So they're going to have to do something to try to figure out how they're going to balance stopping the run, stopping running quarterbacks, and keeping a solid coverage that's not just man-to-man every down.
Yeah.
They got to figure that one out. But again, we're only halfway through the season, so
yeah, I'm not worried about it. Like
I can see them working.
That was their second
out.
loss as well, isn't it? Yeah. So, and
first
sometimes you need to, because remember they had a really good game the week before.
Yes, they did.
Sometimes you need to be embarrassed just a wee bit. It humbles you.
Stop trying.
You gotta humble yourself sometimes, and I think with really good teams that happen. Like, cause it is very much any given Sunday.
Yeah.
Anybody can win. They're all professionals. They're
the last thing you want is that humbling to happen when there's no, next week. When
you
playoffs.
Need this game. Yeah, like this is it. So yeah, I think the Lions definitely feel like they're gonna be fine. The Ravens look good, and I feel like they're starting to get better. Just got caught right here. Philadelphia, they're getting better and better because some of those games early on.
We'll get to that.
I thought that was next.
No.
I feel like you gotta learn how to segue. I feel like you get stuck. You gotta learn how to just keep it moving.
Yeah, okay, but that's not what's next. So you might want to learn how to read a rundown.
I can read a rundown.
That's the last thing we're talking about before.
I could read a rundown. But
anyway. Alright, and now I think we need to get to what I'm calling the Jesus segment, because these teams had a resurrection. It's crazy. 1-win teams went off this weekend. Not sure why, but being a fan of a 1-win team, it was awesome. I mean, first you got the Broncos playing Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay didn't look that great.
I mean, I don't think Green Bay's good. I think that people are hyping them because they're a big franchise and nobody wants to get on the bad graces by being like, y'all suck. But they suck.
I mean, they're winning, but
barely and against bad teams.
Yeah.
Anytime they play anybody with any kind of congruence, they get blown out. They're trash.
Yeah.
And the Broncos aren't even that.
No.
And so the fact that...
Because this is not even that wasn't even one of Russ's best games that he had.
Yeah, no, that was... Yeah.
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, the Broncos haven't been able to put together a team like they knew. Like, they haven't looked like they had a coach. Like, it looked like they were all going out there and nobody knew the play. Everybody was doing something different. And this weekend, they were able to actually put together, hey, look, we're a team.
It was much more functional. Like, you just, the plays kind of drawn out. You could tell where everybody's supposed to go. And they were doing it. Like, and that wasn't happening before. You know what I mean? Like, they can't even start it. Like, as soon as he get out, like, the pocket, it just crumbles and, like, he's running around like a chicken. It was just, they actually look like you could see what the play was supposed to be and how they executed appropriately. Yeah,
definitely.
That wasn't the thing before. That might be
before that.
More on the Packers than on them looking better. We don't know. Once again, you'll know.
You'll know this week when they. Well, I'm not sure who they play this week, but I haven't. We're not at the prediction show, so I haven't looked up this weekend. And then. My babies, the Giants, 1 win, now we're to 2, because Washington just can't beat us. Like, I don't know what it is. I mean, the RG3 year, we weren't good. We were not a good team that year. We still beat them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is about Washington. They just like losing to us. Like, it does not matter. We could be the better team. We could be a worse team. We could not show up, and I think they lose.
It's not a bad look at Washington.
It's not.
It's not.
I mean, they're not great, but they're not terrible. Not to the point where I feel like there should have been a problem with us. Now, granted, I do feel like the offensive line that was on the field this weekend and last weekend is pretty much a whole new line. Like, these guys, some of them haven't been on the field all year, and some of them haven't been on the field, and none of them have been on the field together.
Yeah.
Our center was our guard at the beginning of the year. So, yeah, he was on the field as a guard. Now he's our center. Our left guard is now our left tackle.
Yeah.
Our starting right tackle looks like trash, and the guy that's playing right now, his backup's backup, is actually looking pretty good. And, like, even, like, our right guard who's been playing, Glowinski, when Evan Neal, our right tackle, is in, Glowinski looked terrible. This weekend with the guy that was playing pretty decent at right tackle, Glowinski looked all right.
Do you think Daniel Jones should be worried? Because this is the second week. Like, they lost last week, but they look really good against a really good team. Like, they were functioning like they were. Like, he can. what am I trying to say?
He can work with trash.
He will work this. I mean, he's working this offense.
No, yes, he definitely.
And Daniel Jones could not.
He couldn't get anything going. Now, like I said, technically, we haven't seen this line all year. So you do get this, and this has kind of been Daniel Jones' whole career. Every time you really get a chance to critique him, there's a major glaring hole that kind of makes you go, well, that can't be. Like, if Daniel Jones plays this weekend and he's still getting beat up, he's getting sacked, he's turning the ball over, well, yeah.
Is he supposed to come back this weekend?
I believe he is supposed to be back this weekend.
Okay.
From what I've heard, he should be coming back. And if he does, and he looks functional, I think Tyrod had a better line out of default,
but he
like
got
accidentally.
He got lucky to have it
when he did. Like when he came in the game, we had so many injuries that this line that nobody knew was going to be decent. Like this is the best line we've had all year.
It's basically like a Frankenstein offense.
It's a Frankenstein offense. They have just put together random parts, and it's working.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Jones gets in. Because last year when Jones had blocking, even
he looked good.
Average blocking, he was good.
I mean, they were like a very good team last year.
If he gets in and functions, cool, and we'll just use the early draft pick because we're still probably going to get an early draft pick and some of that other stuff to bolster the team. Get some new linemen, make sure that line stays, above average.
Yeah.
Get maybe a couple more weapons, maybe one guy like Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt's actually starting to look pretty good. I think he could graduate into one of our real lethal weapons.
Yeah.
But maybe depending on how early we draft, like a Byron Harrison Jr., like somebody prolific as a weapon, But if Jones comes in and he just all the same problems that Tyrod Taylor, then
running circles and things.
Rookie quarterbacks don't cost that much, and I hate to have a $40 million a year quarterback sitting on the bench. But if I can do that for a rookie who's not really getting paid much, that we can eventually move into winning with, yeah, I'm fine. I don't care.
So you wouldn't, so I guess you wouldn't keep Tyrod? No
offense. Tyrod's cool. As a good, he's one of them guys that's a great backup.
He gets back in, and they're winning. That's it? You gonna still look for that rookie?
What, Daniel Jones gets back in and we're winning?
I'm talking about Tyrod.
Yes.
Okay.
I am not putting my franchise on Tyrod Taylor. Are you serious?
I'm saying, if they do it, if it's because miraculous, it's like...
Okay, I mean, yes. If by some miraculous Geno Smith out of nowhere thing,
Eli, he brings
where he just starts winning, yes, we'll stay with Tyrod Taylor. But I'm saying he better win the rest of the year. I'm going to need to see playoff. I'm going to need to see, oh, my whole career was a farce. This is how I'm really playing. Because, I'm sorry, I've seen Tyrod Taylor, and this is what he does. He plays good when he's not the starter.
He's
a less talented Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, yeah. That's my biggest thing about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, well,
And we're going to talk about the quarterbacks that might be getting replaced.
The Bears, this kid.
The Raiders just took a left from Tyson.
I mean, once again, the Raiders aren't.
Get it. Because his name's Tyson. Yeah.
Anyway, the Raiders, they're not very good team.
Yeah.
But this is probably...
They blew them out.
Chicago looked really good. This is what...
Justin Fields has not been able to put up good drives against trash teams.
Earlier, I was like, Chicago looked like they should be really good. They look like they have everything it needs to be good, and yet...
There's no coordination.
They're not.
It looks like everybody's making athletic plays. You just can't get them all to make athletic plays at the same time.
And once again, I feel like he shepherded.
And then this kid got in, and they started all making athletic plays at the same time.
And he's exciting to watch. He really is. I'm not saying Justin's not, but he is. But sometimes, cause once again, Justin was not winning, and
this is multiple years of Justin not winning. And there's always an excuse, but this is the same thing like Daniel Jones. Okay, we've now seen somebody else be able to come in and do it.
So.
The excuse isn't there. If you come back in and you're not winning, or you can't at least look functional.
Now, I think if a quarterback gets hurt, he should be able to keep his job. You want them to be honest about being hurt.
Ish.
But if you're not performing when you were
healthy,
remember with Alex Smith and Kaepernick, Alex Smith was
He was winning. They were still a winning team. They were one of the better teams.
He should be able to have a concussion and come back
and try to get.
And I got my job. But if you weren't winning before the injury, and now we're so like I guess once again it's like the other.
But then you've always got
another week
because that's the thing. Like Mahomes and Alex Smith kind of went like Bledsoe and Brady. Bledsoe was still a very competent quarterback.
No, Bledsoe was having.
They were still having wins.
He was having.
Yeah, problems. But Alex Smith had some issues here and there. Overall, he would win, but it was still. And then Mahomes came in and it was like.
But Bledsoe didn't get hurt. They set Bledsoe down.
No, he got hurt and Brady came in.
Oh, you talking about Brady? I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Dallas.
No. I'm talking about when Brady.
Oh yes, okay. See, I'm narcissist.
No,
it's all about.
No, not when
it's all about Big D. My bad.
That made sense too.
Yeah.
But no, I mean the Brady replacement.
Yeah.
Bledsoe was still a winning quarterback.
Yeah.
But sometimes when somebody comes in and looks that good,
you're like,
because that's where we're sitting.
You should get healthy.
You should get healthy because
sit down. You got
don't worry about your job.
You just focus on you.
Okay,
you know?
Do you really want me to make the decision about your job now? Would you rather get healthy and see if maybe he can screw up next week? Yeah, trust me. You don't want me to make the decision.
Romo kind of set it out himself, but like Dak was winning. Nobody wants
Yeah, and y'all had so many backups try to come in that just couldn't even matriculate the ball.
Kind of, and so but
SAT word.
but and this is only week. It's 1 week. You know he can look like poo next week. This week coming up.
Because the Raiders are not a good team.
They're not a good team. But I'm keeping my eye on that one. I'm curious to see how
that could get difficult.
How
you start where's Justin Fields going, and so do you stay with Tyson?
If they keep winning, that's how problems occur.
Yeah.
So, but we'll keep our eye on that one. But they were the 30-12 is a lot. That's a butt whipping. Yeah.
A little bit, just kind of It's a little embarrassing, just a little bit, but yeah. And so, moving on to more shocking details. Well, not shocking in the sense. Bill Belichick gets his 300th win.
Go Bill!
Congratulations, Bill Belichick. I mean, that's a serious accomplishment. You can't really knock that. But it's the other Bills in this equation that kind of have me scratch my head, because I'm at the point now where the Bills and Josh Allen are the most overrated players in football.
Well, you just don't know. Like, they beat Miami, like stepchildren, go to bed.
But then they lose to the Jets when Rodgers out. They should have lost to the Giants. They lose to the Patriots. I mean, these are some of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it's not one of them things where it's like, oh, superstar quarterback. Well, the team's no, Josh Allen is making mistakes.
Yeah.
They're not playing well. The defense is giving up things they shouldn't. The receivers are spotty with their getting open. This isn't Super Bowl caliber football. You're not up there with I can't put you up there with the upper echelon, even if this is an every weekend thing. You can't show me Super Bowl 1 week and then garbage the next. Because that's the thing. It's not just not great. It's trash.
They look bad.
They look trash when they lose. And that's... Josh Allen doesn't look like he can win from behind. If he gets behind, that's it. He starts throwing picks. He starts overworking. He starts trying to run in circles to make things happen.
And they lose. Mistakes. He makes bad mistakes.
It doesn't make... It's bad football. And it's happening way too much on a team that's considered a league.
And it's extremely not a good Patriots team.
Yeah, at all.
Just lost to
at all.
So it doesn't. Yeah.
And especially where
and the Patriots have been losing. They've had record losses. Two of them. 2 weeks.
2 record losses. Worst losses in the history of the Patriots.
In 2 weeks in a row. I mean, maybe that's why they played practice so hard, but still,
And then, like I said, they should have lost to the Giants, and then lose. So it's not like they, it was all game.
Pass interference.
It was definitely pass interference. But
speaking of the rest.
Yeah. But even, I mean, regardless of that, like, you play that badly, you figure, oh, well, we'll knock the rust off and be all right next week. You can't come back and lose to a team that's just as bad.
Yeah. So, but like, and I heard like, what did I hear? So we were worried about Bill's job, but Bill is good because
apparently he got a secret extension before the. I think that's dumb. I'm sorry.
But I mean,
give him the coaching extension, but he needs to get off the GM and he doesn't pick new players anymore. I don't know what he lost, but.
I mean, maybe he feels like there's not much to pick.
These diamonds in the roughs are not panning out.
Not like they used to. I mean, but yeah. Maybe so.
And I think the biggest worry of the Bills is while the Bills just keep looking like, wow, you're not the guys we thought you were, Kansas City and Philly, you know, the Super Bowl teams, are just putting it back together.
Yeah.
I mean, Philly started this season, and I'm sorry, anybody that saw them and said, oh my God, they're Philly, they're still Philly, you're being biased. Yeah. They look horrible.
I wouldn't say horrible.
Not horrible. For a Super Bowl team, they looked bad.
Yeah, I would like this.
It was inconsistent. It was sloppy. There was miscommunication.
I think there's a lot of luck that went into some of their earlier wins. I feel like that could have went a different way
in the early part of the season.
They have bursts where they like boom.
Oh, okay, that's really good, and then wow, that's really bad.
And so yeah,
now we're starting to see Philly. Philly is Lane Johnson seems to be doing what he needs to again. I mean, Jason Kelce is Jason Kelce.
Yeah.
Hurts is working. A.J. Brown is getting on. All the receivers are starting to get back on. They're starting to look dangerous again.
I mean, if you have the rest to help, then there's nothing you can't do, right?
That does help.
Then
the Chiefs, I felt the Chiefs were in the same boat as the Eagles, except I didn't feel like they were getting away with, you know, the lucky wins. Well, I mean, they got a lucky win against Detroit. That shouldn't have happened.
That's
And then, I mean, they lost the first. No, they lost to Detroit. Who did they barely get by? They beat somebody they shouldn't have beat, and it was very obviously that y'all should not have won that game.
I still like it's the same thing with Philly. They look good in spurts. So like they'll have one drive that look really good. And then another drop, like, you know, because they won last week, but they had points where they just couldn't. They just making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of the flaw looks like it's on offense, but that defense is playing better than I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the best Chiefs defense I've ever seen.
Because at one point, like, it was going touchdown.
Yeah.
But then defense started, like, even when Kansas City would make a mistake.
Defense is just shut down, and then next thing you know, you look at the scoreboard, and it was, what, like 31-17?
Yeah, like,
and yeah,
it was no longer close. But
you give Patrick Mahomes the comfort of score when you can, don't worry about scoring regularly.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. I mean, Travis Kelce's averaging, he had almost, 200, he had almost 200 yards? They just got McCall Hallman back.
179,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So almost 200.
Yeah.
They just got McCall Hardman back, which will give them a deep threat they didn't have before. Sheree Rice is starting to show up all over the field.
Yeah.
You keep having to chase those guys. You keep having to chase those guys. Sky Moore and them are going to absolutely start to get something going. I mean, he's having a slow start, but
that's what I was about to say. I'm like,
you're starting to get those.
He didn't do all that much, but like.
But when the other people are starting to go off like that, you're going to start seeing 2-3 people go left to get Kelce or go right to get Sheree Rice or have to fall back because they're scared of McCall Hardman, and he's going to be just left alone.
Yeah.
And that's when when you forget players are there because of other players, that's when Kansas City
That's when they are extremely
really
dangerous.
And they've never been able to run the ball like they can right now with Pacheco.
I do feel like at this point, anybody can be beaten.
Yes, like, I will say that.
Like, I couldn't fathom who's going to beat San Francisco. So, like, when they did lose, they lost to Cleveland. And did not see that at all. That wasn't even one of our outs.
No.
It wasn't. We didn't even,
Yeah.
And so, upsets. That wasn't one of our upsets.
Nah.
I had to think about that. And so they're starting to struggle just a wee bit. I think
just a wee bit.
Just a little bit. And I think a really good team can beat Kansas City.
Yeah.
I think any really good team can beat the Eagles. Like, even though they lost to one, there's no game they had where they couldn't have went the other way.
Yes, that is very true.
And so,
I mean, they could be winless. Is like one or two plays change in pretty much every game, and they could be winless.
Like San Francisco was blowing people out. So like in Miami was
blowing people out,
and now they got to struggle to keep up.
Blowing people out. Like it was getting to like, oh,
the Lions
these are
still
the teams.
Scary. I need one more bad game for the Lions to be like.
If it wasn't for the fact of how badly they got just thrashed,
yeah.
And I feel like a team like Philly can look at what Baltimore did and go, "Oh, we can do everything they can."
And the Ravens is a good team, so so I do think, and the Ravens can lose. Like, we already seen that the Bills can lose. Like, so I don't feel like there's no team that's untouchable anymore. I feel like it's a very even. And now it's up to the teams themselves. How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
To take it, you know. I think we're in for some really good football. I'm very excited.
I think this should be a good pan out.
I feel like I feel good. I do.
Yeah.
Like even if my boys they don't make it all the way.
I mean Dallas, that we didn't bring them up at all, but your boys. I mean they've had some bad games, and we've also seen them play really amazingly well.
They embarrassed New England.
Yeah.
So like before they won a bye, so.
Yeah.
And that helped, but I feel like everybody has a chance. Like the Super Bowl is wide open. It's exciting.
There's no clear cut winner.
I do.
All right. Well, I think the last thing before we get up out of here is tomorrow, Thursday night football.
And that's Bucks Bills.
Bucks Bills, Tampa and Buffalo. I don't know. I just don't even know what to say about it.
Because the Bucks.
Are gritty.
You don't know. Like they look good. They play hard. They make you play hard. They're real rough and tough, you know. But they can't always get that touchdown at the end. They can't always they always come up a little
finish
short.
The drives, finish the games. Yeah,
and that's how they've been losing. So I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I know the Bills have it in them. They like to.
My only thing is, it seems to be one way or another. The Bills either blow you out or get beat, and that's my only thing about it. I could see the upset because Buffalo does not do it good with teams they can't put away quickly. Anybody who makes them scrap till the last minute, they struggle a little bit.
I think the Bills might beat them by like 10. I think they beat them. I think.
All right. Well, I guess it comes down to the all important. Put your money where your mouth is.
I'm not betting. No. Okay, because I'm like, I don't like to bet. Shut up. I gotta put pressure on me. 24-14 Bills.
24-14.
All right.
I am gonna go 13-10 Bucks.
13,
I think it's gonna be an upset.
10? Okay, that's close.
I think they're gonna struggle, and I think the Bills are gonna lead majority of the game. But I don't think Tampa's going to let them put it away. And we're going to have one of them Baker Mayfield fourth quarter plays and Buffalo Bills debacles.
Done? Okay.
I think they will. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he might do it. You know, Baker can. So
that's how Baker does.
Believe that.
That is what he does. So.
Did that wrap us up?
I think that wraps us up.
Oh, would you have upset of the week, or we want to do that another?
We'll probably get back to upset of the week when Craig's back.
Okay.
We'll get back into those.
Okay.
Yeah. Miss you, Craig.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Craig.
All right.
All right. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, all that good stuff. And see y'all next time.